What if I told you the battle inside a fighter's mind is just as intense as the one inside of the Octagon?
Most guys were pretty much intimidated. They lost the fight before they even got hit. Most guys. I knew the art of skullduggery. These guys, I knew how to beat these guys psychologically before I even got in the ring with them.
Today we're breaking down the mental wars between two UFC fighters, Id and Garry and Kamaru Usman.
Kamaru, the Nigerian nightmare, Usman!
Diving deep into their minds using Freudian psychology. In the world of MMA, it's not just about the physical grind. It's psychological battles that truly define these fighters. But first, let's talk about Freud. Freud divided our psyche into three main parts: the id, the superego, and the ego. The id is all about the most primal desires, those instincts that push us to seek instant gratification. Basically, id is what you are born with in order to survive. Id is implanted in you by birth. It's not something that you get as you grow up, it's just something that you are born with. And every animal in the world has an id, has a primal desire to survive. Think of Id and Garry, hungry, ambitious, driven by the need to success at all costs. On the other side, we have the superego. This is where morals, rules, and responsibility live. Superego is created when you are 3 to 6 years old by modeling over your same-sex parent. Basically, superego is everything that you should be, and id is what you are in order to survive. Kamaru Usman has a strong superego, driven by the desire to uphold his legacy, stay disciplined, and protect his image. Id and Garry is driven by the id. He's all about the need to prove himself, to dominate and to win now. The id doesn't care about the consequences or the long-term goal. It wants what it wants, and it wants it now. Think of it like this. Basically, everything good that a UFC fighter could dream of, let's call it X. X is equal to championships, belts, legacy, super fights, money, fame, everything. And respect also, I forgot to add respect, yeah. Kamaru Usman had all of that, and what he needs to do is to uphold the image of the person who had that. While Id and Garry didn't have any of that to begin with, he's just starting up, so he's trying to get something that Kamaru Usman is trying to not to let go. Let's talk about something even more personal: Freudian Oedipus complex. I talked about it in my other video about Khalil Roundtree. If you guys are interested, you should see that video as well, but only after you finish this one. The Oedipus complex suggests that unsolved issues with the dominant mother figure can play a huge role in shaping our desire and conflicts. For Id and Garry, this could explain his strong drive to surpass his role models, perhaps even Kamaru Usman. The desire to kill the father figure and establish his own dominance comes from the unsolved childhood conflicts. I mean, at least this is what I think. This is all theories. I don't have a clue how Id and Garry was brought up and who his parents were. But I'm just saying this for the mommy issues you know. But what if it's true? The superego is about responsibility, morals, and the fear of consequences. Usman is driven by the need to protect his legacy, to stay disciplined, and avoid risk that could tarnish his career. For him, every fight counts. The fight with Colby, the fight with Masvidal, the fight with Khamzat, everything counts because every fight that he takes is a risk to tarnish the legacy that he had. It's a risk to lose once more, and the benefit of it is nothing because he already has achieved everything that he has achieved. So he doesn't need to fight, he just have to protect the fights that he already had and the image that he already had. He doesn't need to get an image. Where Id and Garry is raw and primal, Usman is calculated and measured. His ego tries to balance these desires, but the superego often wins. Here is where the real fight begins. Id and Garry's id pushes him to seek glory immediately, without hesitation. Kamaru Usman's superego holds him back, making him more calculated, more cautious. The fight is no longer just physical. It's a battle between Garry's need to dominate and Usman's need to protect. Who will win this psychological battle? This is almost like some ancient fight or battle or some shit. The fighter driven by primal desire or the one weighted down by the responsibility? Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Which side do you relate to more? Hit that like, subscribe, and the notification ring bell. Because here in the I Don't Speak channel, we dive deep into the minds of the fighters like no one else would. You can't find any content like this.